Welcome to this explainer. Today we're exploring something genuinely mind-bending, the end of time, specifically a descent into what's known as the Kali Yuga. We're going to skip the long preamble today and dive straight into a translation of an ancient Sanskrit text. And let me tell you, this text maps out the literal end of the world. We're talking about a total, absolute breakdown of biology, society, the environment, and honestly, the cosmos itself.
Our source material opens with this incredibly dramatic, heavy question. It's posed by a king named Yudhishthira to a great visionary sage known as Muni Markandeya. Yudhishthira is basically looking into the deep, deep future and asking the ultimate question: when morality and virtue will be at an end, what will remain there? I mean, think about it. What actually happens to our food, our life expectancy, our day-to-day lives when the very fabric of goodness just evaporates? Okay, let's dive into this, because the sage Markandeya answers this question by describing the Kali Yuga, the Dark Age. Now, you have to remember, we're looking at a mythological framework here, where time isn't just a straight line. It's a massive, repeating cycle of ages, or yugas. And the Kali Yuga, that's the final, chaotic chapter of the entire cycle. So what does society look like right before the universe hits the ultimate reset button? Well, according to this text, it is a rapid descent into absolute madness. To really understand this moral decay, the text uses this brilliantly visual metaphor. Picture morality as a magnificent bull. In the first age, the Golden Age, known as the Krita Yuga, this bull of morality stands firmly on all four of its legs. There's zero deceit, no greed whatsoever. But as the ages progress through the Treta and Dwapara Yugas, sin kind of creeps its way in, and the bull literally loses its legs, one by one. By the time we reach the Kali Yuga, the fourth step in the cycle, morality is limping along on just one leg. It is overwhelmingly eclipsed by sin, greed, and total ignorance.
Because morality is crippled, society completely inverts. It's turned upside down. The traditional social orders are entirely flipped. The foundational bonds of family, completely shattered. We're talking about fathers and sons murdering each other, and horrifyingly, they feel absolutely no shame about it. The text actually says they glory in it. We see a society so deeply fractured that the right hand literally deceives the left. The text uses this specific term, mlecchified, which basically means the world adopts behavior that was considered totally barbaric and lawless. Extreme greed takes over, false learning completely replaces actual wisdom, and a pervasive atheism rules as people just abandon all traditional rights and virtues.
And this societal decay triggers something even more shocking. 16. That is it. That is the absolute maximum lifespan for a human being in the depths of the Kali Yuga. As intellectual darkness completely envelops the earth, and as human energy and wisdom just plummet, the biological capacity of humans crashes right alongside it. Once you hit 16 years old, death ensues. Because life is cut so brutally short, human biology goes into absolute overdrive in the most horrifying ways imaginable. Girls of 5 or 6 years old are bringing forth children. Boys of 7 or 8 are becoming fathers. Just imagine hitting a midlife crisis before you've even grown up. Marriage has become completely devoid of love. Husbands and wives hold a deep, persistent aversion for one another. And spiritually, society turns incredibly morbid. Instead of gracing temples to the gods, the text describes people building tombs and pillars, actively worshipping bones and relics deposited within walls. It is a complete and total inversion of life, love, and faith.
But the collapse doesn't just stop with humanity. No, it builds into a massive environmental catastrophe. Flowers begot within flowers, and fruits within fruits. This striking, almost surreal imagery from the text signals that nature itself is breaking down. The fundamental rules of botany and biology are mutating before their eyes. The Earth is entirely losing its natural rhythm and its order.
And this mutation leads straight into total ecological collapse. The weather becomes completely unpredictable, with clouds pouring rain totally unseasonally. And even when people desperately dig and sow seeds, the earth proves entirely barren. It is a world starved of sustenance. The skies and the grounds are filled with these frightful, dissonant cries of scavenging crows, snakes, and vultures. And right beneath them, displaced, starving populations wander the desolate earth, abandoning their cities and uttering these rending, heartbreaking cries of, "O Father, O Son." It paints a picture of absolute, unmitigated despair. And then the apocalypse goes cosmic. The text escalates the dramatic tension to the absolute maximum here. Innumerable meteors flash through an agitated sky, foreboding evil. All the points of the horizon are ablaze with conflagrations, and then we get these terrifying astronomical anomalies. The sun is enveloped by Rahu, which is a demon in Hindu astronomy responsible for eclipses, swallowing the sun completely unseasonably. And, as if that isn't terrifying enough on its own, 6 other suns appear in the sky. 7 suns glaring down on a barren, corrupted Earth. The universe is quite literally breaking apart at the seams.
Now, when the corruption is absolute and the Earth is burning, the climax finally arrives in the form of a figure named Kalki. He's described as a Brahmana, a member of the priestly or scholarly class, born in a town called Sambhala. And he is gifted with immense energy, great intelligence, and divine prowess. Kalki is essentially the ultimate destroyer who pulls the ripcord on a doomed universe. Vehicles, warriors, and weapons materialize at his mere thought. He doesn't come down to negotiate, he comes to exterminate the wicked and destroy all things just to restore order. But the really crucial point here is how this ancient text balances this terrifying climax. On one hand, you have Kalki unleashing absolute violent destruction, wiping the slate completely clean of all corruption and the mlecchas who ruined the earth. But simultaneously, this extreme violence is perfectly synchronized with a mathematically precise cosmic alignment. When the sun, the moon, and the planet Jupiter, or Vrihaspati, enter the exact same sign of the constellation Pushya, peace instantly returns. The destruction is surgical, it's astronomical, and it is completely necessary for rebirth. Which brings us to the grand timeline of this entire worldview. Think about it. We started eons ago in the Krita Yuga, the golden age of total virtue. Then we passed through the Treta and Dwapar Yugas, witnessing that gradual, agonizing decline of the bull of morality. We hit rock bottom in the Kali Yuga, where human lifespans cap at 16 years and the skies filled with 7 suns. But the end is literally just the beginning. The instant the cosmic reset happens, we don't just fade to black. We return immediately to the Krita Yuga. The golden age begins anew, clouds reign seasonably again, prosperity returns, and humanity is reborn. This ancient text so masterfully captures the deepest, most chaotic anxieties of societal and environmental collapse. And honestly, these are fears that feel incredibly modern even today. But it frames them within this unbreakable circle. If the absolute end of days with all its terror and fire is mathematically followed by a beautiful new beginning, is the apocalypse actually something to fear? Or is it simply a necessary cosmic reset, clearing out the darkness to finally make way for the light? Something to think about.